Hi Capricorns, welcome to your October 2017 readings. Uh, I just spent like an hour, there was a bug on my curtain, and it literally took me an hour to get it off, where, oh my god, what a scene that was. Uh, Pretty much used all my spare time trying to kill that one bug. Uh, it's the holidays, for those of you that are Canadian, happy Thanksgiving. I got my hands full right now, a lot of cooking to do, family coming over. Um, Capricorns, what's interesting is there's a siren going off right now. I was seeing Fresh Prince, Will Smith. It's a YouTube video, Dancing Part 1, I believe it's called. But it was Fresh Prince, Will Smith. Uh, I was seeing scenes from that before I started your reading, and I'm not exactly sure why. Some of you Capricorns, uh, you could have a child that's a Sagittarius because that clip, that whole clip that you'll see, I think it's like 4 minutes long or 5 minutes long. That's pretty much Sagittarius at random points in their throughout their day. I even study like part in the you'll see a clip there where Will Smith is like singing and dancing and he's studying. That's kind of how I study. I don't know if you're dealing with a Sag or you got a Sag child. Uh, and my dad's a Capricorn, and Phil is kind of like my dad. I'm 32 years old. Bless my parents for putting up with me as a child, because Sagittarians can have a lot of energy and they're quite spontaneous. My mom's an Aries, so she just indulged it. It's pretty awesome having an Aries as a mom. But that's pretty much the sergeant and it's like the general and the soldier, an Aries and a Capricorn. So my parents were pretty strict. Um, yeah, so I don't know if you're concerned about your child that's a Sag, um, or maybe you want to know what they're going to be like when they're older or something. I don't know. If you watch that clip and you have a Sag child, I don't think you have anything to be concerned about. They pretty much let things roll off of them. So, and if your child, maybe it's your child, I just got like chills. So maybe your child's quite down, or is maybe you're concerned about your child. And if that's so, a Sag, it's very important that Sagittarians have music. Music is very important in their lives. My father's a Capricorn. It took him until I was probably in my 20s, mid 20s, to get comfortable with the sudden outbursts of dancing. My random moments. But he now does it too. And it cheers, it actually elevates your level, your vibration. It rises. So if your sun isn't, oh, sun, I said sun too, weird. Uh, so maybe you do have a sun. But if you put on music that's high vibration, that's positive, and you just act silly with them in the kitchen and stuff like that, it'll raise your child's vibration and it'll get them back on track, if that makes sense. That sounds weird, but that's what I'm getting. And I got like a tingly vibration down my arms for some reason. But if you want to know what your child's going to look like, and if you're concerned about them in the future, that's pretty much a Sag. If they're having a hard time studying, even if you've watched that video, if you can incorporate somehow music to it, that will help. You got to get silly with the Sag. I'm just waiting for the cards to get interrupted. So I read energies. There we go. The cards are a tool for me to hone in onto a vibration, so I can read the energy correctly. So it won't always be the card meaning. I'm going to try to cover homework and relationships. I say that. It never works out. I just get the messages that I get. Relationships come in all forms. Keep that in mind. There's a stigma on that, so I got to keep saying it to help try to break it. It comes in the form of family members, coworkers, friendships. It could be parents, siblings, children. We have the Knight of Wands. This is a Sag card, which is interesting. So maybe one of you do have a Sag child. I did say sun. That just kind of shot out. I have a Virgo rising, so I get very shy when the camera comes on, and I kind of lose like my brain and my vocab. And I suppose that is a good thing in a sense where uh, I'm clearer to channel, I suppose, because I got nothing in my mind. It's just a Virgo rising thing. Uh, we have the Seven of Cups. It's because they tend to be shy. We have the Six of Swords. We have the Knave of Wands. I do feel like there's a Sag that has a Capricorn in them, but they're not a Capricorn sun. And what I'm picking up is that they're, I'm actually getting, what's that scene? Uh, Charlie Murphy and Rick James. Uh, Cocaine's a hell of a drug. I'm getting that skit in my head where uh, I'm not sure if this is a friend or somebody that may have a drug problem, but it's getting out of hand is what I'm picking up. They are not a Capricorn sun though. That was just the message that I got there. Um, so I'm not sure. And then for other Capricorns, I'm picking up, okay, whether you're male or female, drinking could be getting out of hand too. And it's due to emotions. Your emotions are getting off balance a little bit. You're repressing them. I'm 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 seeing the they're gargoyles. They're statues. I'm seeing Capricorns like that, where at nighttime how they like break out. They're no longer a rock. They break out. Like uh, there's a sense here, okay, like if you let those emotions and things steep in too long, okay, you're becoming hard like the rock, and then you're gonna be like that gargoyle where it just breaks out. And I've said this before, when Capricorns keep too much in, you guys are like Greek gods, but then like when you get to that point where you break out of the rock, you become like the Titans. But usually, I will say this, Capricorns, when you guys get upset, there's good cause for it. It's just the cards are asking you, there's always good cause for it. And a Capricorn always feels really guilty afterwards. But you guys sit on it too long. That's the problem. That's what it's saying here. Okay. Uh, you're the wise one where you sit back. It's almost like I'm seeing a rocking chair and you're just like rocking back and forth, watching everything happen over and over again for like a long period of time, like 6 months, and then you let it come out. And the cards are just saying that you just need to let things, when they bother you, maybe just bring it up in the moment. And you can use humor, okay, exaggeration, in situations with your loved ones. Okay, it's best to use humor to bring out an uncomfortable topic. You over exaggerate it, you make the person laugh, and they're kind of like, oh yeah, I see it. Okay, I see it, I get it. Instead of using um, negativity. You got to flip things here, Capricorn. We have the Five of Wands coming in. We have the Queen of Wands. Okay, and the Wands characters, okay, I pick up on energies. This doesn't mean that it's a fire sign in particular. It could be. Uh, you do have an Aries energy here. You do have a Sag energy. But I also see fire signs, the Queen of Wands, as a Capricorn myself personally, because Capricorns, I mean, if you look at the devil, they're surrounded by nothing but fire. You guys can withstand fire. And my dad's Capricorn, I'm a Sag, my sister's a Leo, and my mom's an Aries. And I always say that a Capricorn would be the only one who could maintain those energies, withstand them. That's a lot of fire. That's a lot of heat. That's a lot of annoyance to go through life, but a Capricorn can handle it. Okay. They're quite patient. You guys are quite patient, but I am seeing this like like sitting back and it's, but I'm also seeing that rock like in the gargoyle breaking out of it. That was a cartoon. I don't know. I'm a little older. I don't know if people know that. Uh, I'm seeing that if you're a Capricorn woman, your concern is your child for some reason, or both of your children, 2 children. Or you could be wanting to try to break some sort of pattern that you had, uh, that you grew up with. You need to break that pattern, recognize it in yourself. Um, so maybe like things weren't spoken about in your house when there was problems, and that caused like repression. So now you need to break that cycle. I'm just using this as an example. There's some sort of cycle you have to break with your children, and it's due to something you picked up from your parents. And it's not okay, it's not because your parents are bad people, right? There's a level of awareness. They were taught from their parents and they were taught from theirs. And every generation, it's on a level of awareness. You They break the cycle a little bit, they break a pattern a little bit, but it's due to awareness, right? Um, so you might not, with your children, if they're struggling, you might have to look at a non-traditional route to help them. It's like I was saying with the studying and the music. Um, if your child's having study, I'm seeing, okay, your children are more fluid, more creative, more imaginary. Okay, Capricorn. So this means that your children um, might learn in a different method than perhaps how you learned. You got to get creative in the way that you help them with their homework or their studying. It's saying, which is a weird message. But I'm seeing the Queen of Wands as you concerned about your children, but there also could be a move as well. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Knave of Pentacles. It's a bug. We have the Devil. I ended up vacuuming it, you guys. That's right. I can't kill things. Even with the vacuum, I had the hose on real long. You get real close and then you run away. Well, we have your energy at home, you guys. Okay, so the devil doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Okay, I feel like what the devil is saying that, okay, some things need to change at home. The ways you go about things, it's like a team effort I'm getting, right? There has to be a team effort here, but there's a recognizing of a pattern of some sort. For some of you, this is your parents. Whether you're 30 or 40 and now you have children, there's a pattern that you have to break. There is some um, toxic behavior at home. And it's like you might feel trapped, Capricorn. Some of you might feel trapped at home. And if that's the case, you gotta make things change. Like it's not just gonna happen. You gotta do it yourself, right? For some of you at work, you have competition. It is saying that there's competition at work. If you're in the public eye for some reason. Uh, and in that case, it's saying with the devil here, okay, as long as you don't feed the beast in, which means your ego, and okay, there's good and bad to ego, all right? You do need some sense of ego, but on a healthy level where you're taking your good and your bad, creating the yin and the yang, right? So that's when you're able to self-control. There's a sense here of self-control. For some of you, it's saying that you have too much self-control. Okay, you're using work. Uh, you're using like for self-control at home. It's like I was talking about. It's like the sitting back and the constant withholding things. That's too much self-control. You gotta let things out. You gotta express yourself, right? And humor might be your best route. Um, if you're feeling down, then music will raise your vibration. It will. Um, Albert Einstein used music himself. He used it to problem solve. If you can play an instrument, classical music is really good for Capricorns, actually. My dad's a Capricorn. I got into classical music through my dad. He introduced me to it. It's quite soothing, I find, and I actually know a few other Capricorns, and they like that music as well. So this might be introducing your children to something new like that too, or your family. All right, it's like breaking patterns and getting outside of your comfort zone. Needs to happen at home. It's what it's saying. You need to. For some of you, you do need to have control. There might be some sort of I wanted to say obsession, and that needs to be controlled. I'm not sure what that's referring to. And this could be like you want your children to. Okay, you know what's coming to my mind? There's a video called. It's a cartoon movie. A big company made it. Um, it's called Alike. If you look up a video, it's called Alike. It's completely silent. Uh, and it basically shows you the effects of the parent-child relationship that you have, right? This is what I'm seeing here. If you're a workaholic, your kid's going to pick up on this and become a workaholic too. Whatever patterns you have, your child is going to have that. They are your canvas, all right? That they're your painting. So your decisions uh, and habits and stuff like that, what you if you want your children to be open-minded, then you yourself have to be open-minded and show them that. Like you lead by example. I'm getting this here. But the video is called Alike, if you look that up. It's like it got an award too. It's a very short video. At work, it's saying that okay, like you need to understand. Well, there's growth. There's growth that's going to happen at work. You might be making some changes, is what I'm getting. But there's some sort of Capricorn, your creativity is important. And we're getting back to this water. I'm seeing like you got to be creative. That's what I'm mainly getting this month. You need to be creative about how you troubleshoot and problem solve. And you need to avoid other people and just focus on okay, like when I said it took my dad up until I was like in my mid-20s for him to get comfortable with my sudden outbursts of dancing. I only do this with people that I'm close with, right? It's usually family members, you know, because it's you're comfortable with them, right? And they get to see that weird side of you. I got strong Aquarius, so I am weird. Uh, and my dad was like that because he is a Capricorn, right? There is the Capricorns and Libras have that similar. They care about appearance, how they appear, right? And my dad, it was for him, it was he was concerned about being judged, and even within his own family, like Capricorns, you worry way too much about like it's okay when you're with your family, you're allowed to be silly and be you, okay? Uh, you you got to break loose a little bit. uh, After he started doing that, he realized, hey, like they're not going to judge me, and you know, like. Uh, like we all get going sometimes, like you know, where my mom and me start and then my dad will start and you know my sister will get going, and it's usually like uh they reluctant to do it at first, you know, like but then you just can't help get into the good vibration, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't care now, he realized now that it's appearance means nothing at home, right? Like you got to break like this doesn't matter what other people think about you, you know, you got to be comfortable with you. Because at work you have solutions. There is a chance here though that you can't allow your ego to get off balance. Okay, like some of you are fighting against yourself here. Don't feed the beast within. All right, that's what I'm getting. We all have that. All of us have that. You I'm not seeing the Temperance card, but you do have and I said Libra, but Libra is a different sort of balance than Temperance is. Justice is a different balance than Temperance is. Uh, Justice is more of a balance outwardly in the physical realm, um, where in it's short-term gratification too. Uh, Temperance is more of justice on an inner foundation. So it's more of your emotions being balanced. Temperance, right? It's not being too emotional, but not like you feel in the moment. You express yourself in the moment. You allow that to come out. You don't. Here's what I'm getting, Capricorn. If you don't allow yourself to feel, then you're blocking your internal compass to guide you. Um, Okay, we all have that internal compass, and that comes from feeling. So if you're using substances or some sort of even work avoidance, if you're doing something to avoid things, and that means you're not allowing yourself to feel, which means that you're guided off of your path. And in order to be for you to be see clearly and be put back on your path, you need to get that feeling back. Like so that means you need to purge what's in there right now, and then you have to start taking little steps to try to do this on a daily basis, whether it's writing things down and making a diary or something like that. You don't even have to keep it. You can burn it afterwards, or you can delete it or something, like, but there's something here. You got to get it out because your internal compass is off, and that internal compass only works through feeling. And if there's some sort of numbing of the feeling, repressing of the feeling, whether that's alcohol or whatever, then everybody has a quest, uh, and everybody's quest is different. Okay, and I do these voluntarily. This is not a business of mine, uh, and I have reason for that. I have considered it, but I also I don't want to feed the beast within me, and I do things the way I was guided to do it. This allows me to have a non-attachment. I can only guide, right? And I was guided to guide. So it's like I answer to um, you know there's um higher, I don't want to say power, but higher energies. There's something higher than us out there, uh, and they have rules. And I try to follow those rules. Okay, um I can only guide. That's all I can do for you. When I do these videos, I can only guide, and I can't. You each have a different path you're on, and what I'm getting through the cards is your path is blocked until you can feel, uh, because uh, your feeling is your compass. Okay, you can go back to philosophy here and read Plato or Socrates. Uh, okay, there's something. Well, if you have time, Plato's I can't talk, you guys. I hate this Virgo rising sometimes. Okay, Plato's oh my God, Republic. There we go. English is my first language. I do not speak it well. You might have some answers in there. It's a long book to read, uh, but you could have some, for some of you, there'll be some answers in there for you. Um, in relationships here, I am seeing majority of it is children. Some of you have a friend that is helping you see things, cutting through illusions. I do feel like Capricorns, your battles within. All right, there could be even some people. It might be your need to succeed is blinding you, and you're feeding the beast, and you have to be slow and methodical and patient. Okay, Libras, sometimes they get okay. They're instant gratification. So in midlife, they usually have a big switch up, uh, and they usually run into problems. Like I've noticed some Libras, even quite a majority of them, get divorced and stuff like that. And that's because they were looking for short-term gratification and in a foundation. And you need to be looking at things from a bigger perspective and a more slower, methodical pace here, and understand that you're looking to do things the correct way and not the right way. And the right way, it sure it seems beneficial, and it is beneficial, but long term, and it's only beneficial short term. Long term wise, you run into walls, and there's problems, and you're just going to be. It's going to be like Mario Kart. You're just going to be hitting the wall, and you're not going to understand it. And that's because the beast has been fed at that point, and the beast is blind. The beast can only see in the night, can't see in the light, right? And if you can see in the light, that means that you have the ability to shine light in the darkness, and you can always see what's in the dark. Uh, your internal compass here, though, I can't see much more past because the internal compass is off, for some of you, not all of you. It's just the message I'm getting. I feel like for some of you, your spouse, if you are married or if it's you yourself, financial wise, they're more concerned about finances. They have some sort of objective in mind. Even your child. You do have one child here that's quite creative. I'm seeing that. You do have a child who's quite creative. And for some of you, you have, okay, I feel like this is an older child. You haven't. With these cards, the energies I pick up energy. So if you're 40 or 50, your child is still always going to be your child. Whether they're 20, 19, or in their 30s. If you're 16, your child's 40, it's always going to come up as a energy for me where it's a child. You have one, and I feel like it's an elderly child that is quite, I'm seeing like Leonardo da Vinci, the way their mind works. This means that like they see patterns and connections for some of you. They're quite artistic. You have a younger child who's having issues because of a they're creative and I'm seeing their energy being they haven't been able to get their gift out. Like that's what I'm seeing. Like their creative gift, they haven't been able to get it out. Whether that's like they need to go into dance, start painting classes. They have classes where they have like you can even go with your girlfriends. For those of you that have girlfriends, I'm seeing drinking needs to be kept under wraps here. Like you need to watch that because it's like suppression of emotions when you're doing that, and that's going to be a red flag for you personally. How to know that when you're probably going to have to write things out to get your feelings out, if that makes sense. Because if you're drinking, then your emotions are off. You're repressing them. So that will be a red flag, how you're going to know that's occurring within yourself, and to get back on balance. But you do have a child that has some sort of fluid energy in them, and they haven't been able to get it out. And this could be dance, painting. And as I was saying about painting, you can go as a family. They have classes where you can take them to go paint. There's some sort of thing you need to start trying, like different things. This doesn't mean go out. Okay, Capricorns, because Capricorns, when their child is into something, they go all out. They buy them everything that they need for that and to advance them in that category, okay? Before you know the child's actually in it. So what you want to do, Capricorn, is you just want to try things with your child, and you want to see, and you're very good observers. So you're going to see what sparks your child. You're going to see when that energy comes out in them and the passion. You're looking for the passion to come out of your child. And then once you find that, you can do a trial Taekwondo class. You can do a trial kickboxing class. Go to a gymnastics thing, because gymnastics is kind of fluid too. A trial. You want to do everything you want to do as a trial, and you want to see what your child likes. You want to expand their mind here in some sense. Weird messages sometimes. At work, you just need to be grounded and practical, and you don't need to look at others as competition. Your competition is with yourself. And it's getting your creative ability out there and understanding your value is more than what you're actually giving yourself credit for, Capricorn. You guys are getting hard on yourself here. Okay, and Capricorns, when your work is off balance, that affects other aspects in your life. That's your foundation, and that's like when you guys don't feel like your work foundation is stable, it throws everything else off. It really does. Not a lot of family members understand that, or they pick up on that. So that means if you're having problems at work, okay, well, there's a sense here. If you're taking it home too often, you need to stop that. You need to separate the two. If you're not talking about the problems that you're having, maybe if you have a spouse, then you need to talk about it with them. You need to get it out. Mm. At work, you might need to change. And I'm seeing creativity. This means if you're looking for marketing, different marketing techniques, networking. So this is going to events, networking events. I can't talk. Applying for other jobs. And Capricorn, I go over this for you guys quite often, is you lowball yourselves, all right? And there's a bunch of birds going off out there. Um, you guys are, like, in the beginning I said about my parents, like, Capricorns are generals, all right? You're generals. You know how to organize things. So, like, you're lowballing yourself at work, is what I'm seeing. You have suggestions, go to your superiors. If you can see through illusions, then you need to go to your superiors and tell them that. If you got to watch rumors, don't spread any rumors, don't get involved in anything. There could be some competing going on, and you're going to need to step back in that sense and become the stone gargoyle. Don't get involved in anything, um, and observe. You'll see through the illusions that way. All right, you guys. Hopefully that helped you out. Namaste. And I don't think I'll be doing mid-months. I'm going through a change right now. I got a lot going on. It's the holidays too, and I'm getting a different job, so I have more free time. And I got to reschedule things and plan things out, and um, I can be quite slow when I do things, but it's because I want to ensure I'm making the right decisions, and I don't like to be rushed. I'm a little stubborn, people, because I know the long-term effects, right, of a not so well thought out plan. I don't want to end up in a job that I have to switch, and I'm looking for a specific type of job. All right, you guys. Namaste. Ciao for now, and I will talk to you soon.